is it Philip Hammond that came out today echoing what you had in your introduction?
Yes.
That it was a complete waste for the government to be prioritising homosexual rights when there are so many other things to do. So it's echoing precisely what you said. Well, good call to action as well, and someone who did take a call to action and decided, you know, what can I do for the LGBT cause, is our very own Lisa Quinn, who joined very recently our Camden Oratory Laboratory. So Lisa hasn't spoken at many places, and today I can't wait to hear what she has to say. So I'm going to put the LGBT, this is a work in progress, by the way, but that's what we're using at the moment. So Lisa.
I'm so glad you mentioned complacency towards the end of your speech, because I was just wondering how the hell am I going to start my speech? What am I going to talk about? I don't know that much about France. I'm tired of it. Since coming out as a trans woman sort of last year, publicly and I think at the time, I've kind of thrown myself into a lot of activity. I started off about 12 months ago, just before Pride. I've been sort of active with the online community, met a few people, and attended my first Pride sort of last June. And I've thought to myself, I can't go out and be proud of who I am at a Pride March. There's not much point. I'm not going to get very far in this world as a trans woman. So I got dressed up, went out, had a great day, met a few friends, and had a totally enjoyable time. So from that, I kind of met up with, got a lot more confidence, started going to local trans groups, Trans London, a few people here from there. So that got me involved with more political activity. The biggest thing at the time was the Thibant Rabin campaign. Fernanda is a Guatemalan woman seeking asylum in Denmark. She'd been detained in a male detention centre where she'd been raped. She was due to get deported back to Guatemala. It was highly likely she would be murdered, sort of murder rape against trans women in South America, Guatemala especially. And with Fernanda being an active member of the LGBT community, it was a really serious situation. So in partnership with Copenhagen, there was a few demonstrations in Copenhagen and demonstrations in London. This one outside the Danish Embassy on Swan Street. Not huge, but very well behaved. Really effective demonstration. Got in the Danish press, European press, and eventually Fernanda was granted asylum. So can you all hear? Sorry, I'll try and speak about it. Yes, so Fernanda Rabin, she was granted asylum in Denmark. The Danish government actually changed the law to do that. Fernanda was the first trans woman to be transgender person to be granted asylum in Denmark. So impressive first action that happened for me last year. The next big event was the journalist Julie Birchall came out with some horrendous article, transphobic article in the Observer about 6 months ago, calling trans people bedwetters with bad wigs and lots of other horrendous comments. So there was a protest group, there was quickly organised a protest group, called for a demonstration outside the offices of the Observer, the Guardian News Group. This was attended by maybe 250 people. The deputy editor from the Observer came down and addressed us. The Observer removed the article and listened to our concerns. We've had meetings with transgender groups since then. So another fantastic result for activity from our communities. Following that, another major event happened with an arrest of a trans woman in Soho in February. This arrest was witnessed by 50 to 100 people. The witnesses claimed that the police manhandled Jose Santos to the floor, ripped off her wig, emptied her handbag into the streets, which called her not normal, and violently threw her into the back of the police. This was reported into the Gay Star News. Upon reading this, I was absolutely horrified by this, that this could actually happen to me. So, me and several other activists, campaigned against the police upon his arrest. We quickly organised a demonstration, called for a demonstration outside the Charing Cross police station, where the arresting officers came from. By this quick action, we got the police on the back foot. They took our concerns extremely seriously. I was invited to high-level meetings with the police at Charing Cross. Top policeman in Westminster came out and addressed us, our demonstration, to attempt to assure us that our complaints have been taken very seriously. The arresting officers have been reported to the DPS, Department of Professional Standards, and the IPCC, Independent Police Complaints Commission. We have no further information on that, how that investigation is going. Next big event. It was a news story which happened at Christmas time. It was a teacher in Lancashire who came out transgender, came out as a trans woman. She was a teacher at primary school in Lancashire, my home county. Richard Littlejohn, journalist for the Daily Mail, said, "How dare she expose our children to this at such a young age? She should leave her job, leave the town, etc., etc." Usual standard of the Daily Mail, transphobic posting. Lucy Meadows was put under a lot of pressure by the Daily Mail, Richard Littlejohn in particular. He committed suicide in March. Lucy. Our community, transphobia, transgender community in particular, can relate to this strongly. We believe that Richard Littlejohn was a contributing factor to her suicide. That brings me pretty much to my conclusion. Just to kind of wrap up, I do want to take away one thing from this, that I want to try to say here, and that is, activity does work. You do get results. It's, as Patrick was saying, it's not, you can't just rely on individuals to speak on your behalf. It's incredibly important to get involved yourself at every level. It's not just because it's super important, it's actually really fun as well. I've met some amazing people in the last year, had some great times. Probably I'm looking forward to having more great times in the future. So it does work, you do get results, it's fun. And I promise that I'll try and squeeze a French politics in, and I just want to end with a quote on by Dumas. It's all for one for all.
Scholarly closing remarks. Anyway, we're going to do Q&A at the end, by the way, if anyone's desperate for questions, they will get an opportunity. And we're going to move on to our third speaker, Thiban, who's just checking that his USB is. So, everyone. Thiban from Department of French at UCM, so round of applause.
Thank you for inviting me and thank you for this box. It's actually interesting to meet you. What I'll do is...
Can you hear at the back? Sorry.
Okay, I'll talk. Yeah, I'll do it. Well done. So what I'll try to do is to give you a few items of context about French politics and French political culture to sort of put a bit of light on some of the issues that were already talked about earlier. So, there's a caveat here that there's going to be more like remarks, a few remarks I'm going to make rather than comprehensive expose. The first big thing that's important when you look at politics of identity in France is that French political culture is a Republican culture. And by that, I mean that it goes back to the French Revolution at the end of the 18th century, which put some of the main ideological building stones, if you want, of how politics will be taught for the next 200 years. And the revolution itself, if you want, epitomizes as well some of the tensions that are in the Republic itself. For example, the main, if you want, the main idea, one of the most emblematic aspects of the revolution is the declaration of the rights of man and citizen. And so this document has got this very universalist intent, very abstract. It's about the equality rights for man and citizens, something quite, everyone should feel concerned by it. And what happens then is that when they give those very open rights, is that there's a lot of people, so at the time it was Jews, Protestants, people with disputable professions, such as actors or executioners, and also free blacks and slaves. So they come and they document and they come to the state and they say, okay, so we're all rights now. And what happens, of course, is that they didn't get those rights. It's mainly, if you want, highlighting the fact that there is a gap. There's a gap between the universalist intent of Republican ideology and if you want, the political situation that is always situated at different points in time. And the best example of that at the revolution itself is Madame de Gouges. So Madame de Gouges is it's a woman who rewrote another version of the Declaration of Rights of Women and Citizens. So you could have found it in way. So what she did is that she sort of basically rewrites the whole documents and she changes the word man by woman everywhere in the documents. And she changes as well some of the issues to issues that were more important for women in the late 18th century, including, for example, the question of divorce or illegitimate children. What happens to her is quite emblematic of how this kind of voices have been heard at the time is that she's been executed during the revolution because she was deemed a natural woman. So if you want, that gives you an idea that French political culture has always got this tension between its intent and at the same time a will to, if you want, retain those rights on the part of the state. So if you use, if you want, an analogy with language and linguistics, universalism is, if you want, the grammar, it's the rules with which we'll be able to talk about politics in France. So it's the grammar of the Republican system. So what does it tell us about the debates on gay marriage? So it's quite interesting. I mean, the first comment I'd like to make is on the idea of the name itself, mariage pour tous, so marriage for everyone, and manif pour tous, demonstration or march for all of everyone. Both groups are appealing to everyone, okay? Which is quite indicative, if you want, of the idea of universalism. You cannot talk about politics without appealing to this universalism, to everyone in some respect. And what's interesting here is that obviously pour tous for everyone doesn't mean the same thing for one group and for the other. In one group, you've got, if you want, in the marriage for everyone, you've got radical universalism. The idea that universalism gives the tools for people to claim rights. Okay? So that the idea that we are all equal despite specific qualities that are common to a specific group. So everyone including queers. Whereas for the anti-marriage groups, the manif pour tous, as you said earlier, there's a clear link with the idea of silent majority. Tous, everyone, is actually the majority. Okay? And of course, it always the idea with the majority that is always silent. So in a way, as you said, marriage pour tous is for everyone who is not queer. Okay? And you can see how the movement is trying to sort of fight off this problem, because obviously everyone is not everyone. For example, you see Friedrich Barjot, who's the sort of main face of the movement, who is always paid on the television to find one or two gays of expression and say, look, that gay, it's for everyone. So there's working. So they're working with this tension as well within the anti-marriage group. And the reason why it's possible to say for someone who makes a claim against equality to say that it's for everyone is precisely because universal is a very abstract notion of citizenship. And it can be abstract as in potentially including everyone, but it can be abstract as in the sense of being neutral. And when you've got aspects that are invisibilized, or aspects of identity that are invisibilized or that are naturalized. For example, if you take the example of the gender performance, if it conforms to a certain type of gender performance, it's not a performance anymore, it's natural. Okay? So you've got parts of things that are naturalized and are not changed, change their nature. So that means that an abstract idea of a citizen, because of this invisibilization and naturalization of some traits, can actually become mainly wide, male, straight, and so on. So the idea that the abstract citizen is not so abstract anymore in this kind of right-wing discourse. But it keeps the pretense that it is. So that's what, if you want, the main framework within which it's working. Now, the debate on gay marriage it's very big now. The last time it was pretty much as big was in 2004. So in 2004, there's quite a long chronology, but basically the idea that in 2004, there was a very highly publicized hate crime in France, which was sort of the catalyst for both hate crime legislation to be passed, and also for starting the movement for equality in marriage. And what happened there is that, so you've got, the debate is pretty much the same. It's about children, it's about marriage, and so on and so forth. But what you see in the two versions are positions and discourses that actually shifted and changed quite a lot. And one main example that I think is quite interesting is the idea that in 2004, you've got a lot of opposition to gay marriage from intellectuals. In particular, not any kind of intellectual, but psychoanalysts. So for reasons that are specific to the French intellectual life, psychoanalysts still had quite a strong presence, especially in the public sphere. So it's quite easy for psychoanalysts to have opinion columns and talking in the toilets and so on. And what they say, although the majority of psychoanalysts at the time didn't have much to say about gay marriage, you had a quite vocal minority who based their arguments on quite problematic, fallacious readings of French psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan, were proposing pretty much the apocalypse, explaining us that if we had gay marriage, we would have the advent of, I quote, a nation of psychotics. So it's quite big words. So now what's interesting is that if you also look at the PAX debates, so the civil partnership one in '99, again you had a position from a lot of intellectuals. This time you also had anthropologists. And that's why I remember what you said, because you talked about the anthropological order of sexual or gender differences. The whole idea that there's something basic to human order about gender differences, that was something that was very much used by intellectuals in '99. Interestingly now in 2013 is that if you look for intellectuals talking about it, there's not much. There's real disappearance of intellectual speech on the whole issue. And especially the complete disappearance of opposition to gay marriage. So you don't have the psychologists coming back. Actually, most of them have said that they were wrong and they have changed their position. So we're not going to have a nation of psychologists mentioned. But what's interesting is that the very same arguments that you have there, now they have shifted. They still exist, they're still in the public sphere, but it's not intellectuals who say them. Now it's a Christian right and it's a nationalist, which is, I mean, it's quite funny in a way to have, say, communists being used by nationalists and especially Catholics. But you can see exactly the same argument, the idea that filiation, they do everything in the name of filiation, filiation in French, which refers to the filiation, descendants, parenthood, and so on. And you've got, I think it's Civitas. Civitas is a Catholic organization, quite on the right of the political spectrum, say that they se rassemblent au nom de la filiation contre le mensonge. They meet, they mobilize in the name of filiation and against lies. So filiation, which in 2004 was used as a concept by experts, now is used as a value that we've got to fight for instead. So you see, things exist, but they change slightly of discursive quality. Now, I'll do the last bit of what I want to talk about, and I want to talk about the whole movement of the Manifestos. And the main thing that's interesting with the Manifestos is that, as I said, it's quite hard to just pin down. It's not just completely right-wing. It's not just nationalist stuff. It's not just Catholic stuff. There's a very big mix of things which makes them quite hard to track, and it's quite interesting. So the first aspect of it is that it's got a lot of very old, very established tropes of French right-wing nationalism in what was using. For example, it was in one of the latest demonstrations on the 5th of May in Paris. One of the organizers trying to mobilize the crowd in the streets was saying, "Vous êtes la grande armée de grognards courageux." So you're the great army of courageous, brave vets. But grognard and grande armée is not just any kind of vet, it's the vet from the Napoleonic army. Okay? So they're compared to the Napoleonic army. Quite a lot of time between the two that's happening. It's quite interesting to see that they choose that instead of something else. And Napoleon is not any kind of reference. Napoleon throughout, at least until the mid-20th century, Napoleon and references to Bonapartism being like Napoleon has always been seen as right-wing criticism of republicanism, okay? Being against republicanism, parliamentary democracy, and all things. So, very old kind of link here. But at the same time, most of the discourses also use the whole trope of resistance. So they talk a lot about résister, résistance, oppression, oppression, and resistance. And these are actually the whole semantic, the whole group of words around resistance are usually used in France when people are fighting against the state as opposed to fighting against anything else. So usually it is left-wing groups who use it because they tend to fight against the state more often than the right. And it's quite interesting because resistance, again, this time is something that's usually associated to left-wing advocacy. Especially right now, resistance is mainly used for very different, as a word, for very different kind of advocacy. It is against the fight against deportation of illegal migrants in France. So there's a lot about how they are resistant, so people who, a lot of comparison about people keeping illegal migrants in their house, being like people who kept Jews in their house to prevent them from being taken by the Nazis. So it's a bit schizophrenic, as you can see. Very different kind of references. Another big reference, which is very identifiable, is references to foreigners. So this is actually, this was not used in the street. So it was made for the men's purpose, but men's purpose is not a really coherent group like, say, a trade union or something. They don't have much control over the different groups that make it. So someone made that, and of course everyone was, you know, they might like it, but they said they didn't. So who you see there on the top right is Christiane Thiban. She's the Ministry of Justice in France. And I mean, so what you can see here is you've got the obvious racist aspect of it when she's being wrong, you know, about to, I don't know, kill, eat, whatever, France. Manif Monstre is like monstrous demonstration, but also you've got the idea of the monster, which also means gigantic demonstration. And here you see, we use this woman. She's dressed up as Marianne. Marianne is embodiment of the nation, of the French nation. And you actually saw a lot of women in those demonstrations were dressed up as Marianne. So, you know, and she's, in a way, she looks a bit like this famous painting, Liberty, a guy with the people's 19th century painting about revolution in the 19th century, about freedom and so on. So again, very different kind of references here that you've got in one single poster. So, topic of awareness, racism, quite easy to identify where it is. But at the same time, the whole idea that she's foreign to Frenchness, so she cannot understand what the French people want, comes back a lot in discourses. Like there seems, again, I guess that cette ministre est d'une autre souche originaire d'ailleurs et qui veut nous faire changer de civilisation. This minister is from another souche, is descendants, progenies, she's from another descendants. She's from elsewhere, and she wants to make us change civilization. The whole idea of intellectuals wanting to criticize the nation, history from the inside and so on, was again a very big topic, very big trope, especially at the end of the 19th century around the affaire de which was a big case of battle between the nationalists and the Republican groups around the issue of anti-Semitism. The big names in the nationalist intellectuals in France were around this era. So, very big mix of things. And last big example from the right-wing corpus is the idea of ennemi du mariage de la famille de la France ballet. So that's the motto of Civitas for a coming, I think, a coming demonstration. So food of marriage, family, and France, get out. Here you've got marriage, family, France, again, for all the themes that are very, I mean, they're very identifiable and quite reminiscent as well of Vichy, which was, especially the Vichy, which was the fascist, or at least dictatorship during the Second World War in France, in the part of France that was not occupied by Nazis. Now, I want to look at a few different posters, and I'll finish with that, but I think they're quite interesting. So, if you look at this one, la priorité c'est Aulnay, pas le mariage gay. So our priority is Aulnay. Aulnay is a place with a massive motor industry plant for Peugeot. So, and they're progressively about to close it. And there's lots of criticism on the left of the current government that they don't seem to do enough to protect the workers. So here you see, as was mentioned earlier, strange mix, a mix between